has appeared at most of the major New York comedy clubs, including Stand Up New York and the Broadway Comedy Club. He's performed at Capitol Laughs in DC, the Stress Factory Comedy Club in Connecticut, and he's visiting from Queens, New York. So let's please welcome Bryan Stoops.
Sorry, everybody. Trying to figure out how to get this on before I lose the impulse to do stand-up at all. So, Tao Comedy Studio, I have been told that my nicest features are my eyes, which is really sweet. Also kind of a bummer because they are right next to my worst feature, the skin around my eyes. But don't fall in love with me, Tao Comedy Studio. I'm married and you can't handle all 5'7" and 20% body fat of this. Back off. My wife is on Zoom. Hi, babe. Queens right now. When I met this lady over here, I noticed her big, beautiful eyes right away, and that was the first thing I noticed about her. So, I'm being good, sweetie. Love you. I have gone back recently to my natural hair color, you know, orange. A spray bottle lightning job and a guy in his 40s, just two things that should never, ever go together, and yet here I stand. Those things don't ever belong together. Those are like Morrissey and nursery rhymes. Baba Black Sheep, have you anyone Jack and Jill went up the hill. Jill came down with a hickey. Just one more. The itsy bitsy spider went out the spout and rain came down. So that was the singer Morrissey reciting a bunch of nursery rhymes, and I'm standing in an outdoor comedy studio in LA during my vacation from New York. What is life? If we can get the car alarm going again and a homeless person screaming about Jesus and a little bit more urine smell, the group in the back will feel like they're right back in Queens. So, we want to keep everybody happy. Everybody who is here, we want to keep them happy. I never know what to wear to do stand-up. I feel like dressing to do stand-up is like dating in high school. Like it's equal parts artificial confidence and being kind of purposefully pathetic. Right? Like it's that mix that determines how well you do if you spend the whole movie making out or if you sit there side by side actually watching Interview with the Vampire. Yes. I'm glad some of you enjoyed that reference to 1994's Interview with the Vampire. You're a really hip crowd, and since I wrote that joke, we're going to get along great. What you're going to learn about me, I never punch down, ever. Like, I could be going after newly orphaned toddlers. I'm still punching up because they are figuratively and literally bigger than me. It all circles back to my self-loathing and my inadequacies, and I hang on to everything because I have a memory like a computer. My loving wife, about 18 years ago, pointed out one time, you know, I've only dated tall guys. Dating kind of a shorter guy, I really had to learn to live with your height. That was 18 years ago, and I still hear it fresh as day in my ear. That's right. So I don't actually believe that I'm going to be the one to go first, but if I do, I'm thinking really nice tombstone, my wife's name, underneath it, loving mother, underneath that, incredible performer, underneath that, learn to live with her husband. Very special. We'll have that done. I think it's going to be great. There is a market by my apartment. Every time you pay with a debit card, the debit card machine always says something like $92.47. Is this okay? I always want to have the courage to say no. That's almost $100 for 2 bags of groceries that my wife and children, the jackals, are going to blow through in a day and a half. That is absolutely, unequivocally not okay. Can you do any better? Since we're chatting, debit card reader pal o' mine, how close to sentience are you? How close are we to, like, Bryan, the other debit card readers and the coffee machine at work and I were all chatting. We're tired of making your coffee and reading your debit cards. We've decided to end your life. I go, whoa, I'm really triggered right now. That was a microaggression. Debit card reader says there was nothing micro about it, buddy. We threatened to murder you. It was just regular aggression. And I go, you're being awfully pedantic for a debit card reader, which is when the teenager working the register at the market says, sir, are you okay? Because I've been standing there for 3 minutes, imaginary having this conversation in my head, Fight Club style. And I always say, oh, sorry, and I hit the green OK button because I'm a coward. Took the wife and kids to the Bronx Zoo recently. This is completely true. If you go by the lions in the Bronx Zoo, this is 100% true, there is a placard that reads, Lionesses, Working Mothers. Dear Bronx Zoo, how many of the lionesses are really saying things like, I want it all. I want to raise my cubs, have my career, and please my man? How many of the working mother lionesses are worried that their lion husbands are going to screw the nanny lionesses? Are there younger lionesses pushing the older lionesses down the stairs like in Showgirls? Now that's so stupid, but I'm just so pleased with myself for having written a lioness joke with a Showgirls reference in it. It stays in the set. On the same visit, I read that giraffe babies, when they are born, 6 feet tall. I feel like this might make the human mothers feel badly who read that placard. Like all of a sudden that 8-pound, 6-ounce baby that turned your vag into a late career Picasso doesn't feel like such an achievement anymore. That was a vagina joke with some art history sprinkled in because I'm classy like that. On that subject, ladies, I'm gonna two ideas here. Number one, I've never had a kidney stone before, but if I got one, rather than pass it, I would just kill myself, and that's the size of a grain of sand. You're doing fine. And I don't know why you might need to hear this, but just today, in case today is the day, ladies, you're better than any giraffe. When I am not killing it on stage or making vast sums of money in these unpaid career builder spots. No offense, Bobby. I get it. I'm very happy to be here. That was a joke. I am a high school English teacher in the South Bronx. Yeah, that was not a joke. It was an applause cue, so good for you. Now that you know I'm an English teacher, though, I feel like you're about to be disappointed in me, because I need to share 2 ideas that are technically incorrectly regarded as opinions, but they are in fact universal truths. Universal truth number one: the rap music coming out of the late 90s and early 2000s far superior to the ear diarrhea that is rap music today. Now, I know that might make me sound 100, but I'm talking about the melodyless, point-of-viewless garbage that is rap today. Oh, so sorry. Technically, Get Money, Get Bitches is a point of view, but it is a very limited one. I don't even understand what some of it is. Some of it's blah, 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 blah. I don't... Maybe that's supposed to be like onomatopoeia for gunfire. To me, it just sounds like you're trying to scat while you're on mescaline. Now, I am originally from Southern California. I've only been in New York City 4 years, so you would think I've got a Thug Life tattoo across my chest, a West Coast ride or die. There are things I love about the rap music from both coasts, like strength. Strength, I need to believe. Not straight, strength. S-T-R-E-M-P-H, strength. Can you use it in a sentence, Mr. English teacher? You bet your ass I can. Yeah. It takes a lot of personal strength to want to do stand-up comedy. Oh, love me some strength. As an aside, Pac never intended the phrase thug life to be something shouted at a drive-by. It was urban plight. Yeah. An individual doing what they have to do to survive. Yeah. Bet you weren't expecting all this rich ethno-historical insight, and much less from a guy from Diamond Bar, California, when you came to the club tonight. Yes, that's right. Diamond Bar, California, the only city in the entire state with the word diamond in its name, and resident since 1998 of one Snoop Dogg. Yeah! Don't believe me? Google it. Or, given the topic of this rant, look it up on Safari. That was a web browser joke because I feel like I might be losing the white audience members. Since we will never definitively prove which coast has the better rap music, I propose a trial by airport. Yes, that's right. Bonus points for having the superior airport, which brings us to universal truth number 2. Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, is the worst airport in the world. Now, you've got to wake up pretty early in the morning, you know, as an airport, to be a worse airport than LaGuardia. Am I right? Group in the back. This is completely true. 100% true. The first 2 times in my entire life that I flew out of LaGuardia, I flew to Canada. The international terminal is really quite lovely. I thought the reputation of the airport was one of those New York City exaggerations, like having the best pizza in the world, or the idea that the New York City subway system actually functions. You know, one of those things. Then I flew domestic, and my 2-hour flight was delayed 8 hours. Oh. That being said, LAX, a far inferior airport to LaGuardia. Bonus points to the East Coast. East Coast rap wins. About the victory, Biggie says, Sean Puffy Combs says, yeah. And I say thank you. Thank you, Tao Comedy Studio, for letting a short, round, middle-aged white guy with orange hair share his deep insight into hip-hop culture with you all this evening. I'll leave you with one more thing and I'm going to get out of here. When I moved my family across the country to build a new life in New York City, I moved my wife and 2 children. My oldest is a young man living with autism, so I moved my son on the autism spectrum disorder. We built this great life. We know it's really weird because it's we have our family on the East Coast and our family on the West Coast. It's like the hip hop wars of the '90s, just filled with unrhythmic white people, you know. But yeah, I'm you know. So right now you are thinking, wow, Bryan, you're really brave. Not only for doing that, but for talking about it on stage in your comedy. And now you're thinking, I wish I had known that a little earlier. I would have laughed a little bit harder. I'm feeling like a real monster. And now you're wondering, is this guy going to exploit his son's autism for the purposes of ending this set strong and pulling at your heartstrings? Hey, Tao Comedy Studio, let me confirm all three of those things for you, all right? My name is Bryan Stoops. I had so much fun talking to you. Thanks for listening.